Quackenbush, and this is Leonard F. CHIKARA.
Are you ready for your journey to CHIKARA?
CHIKARA! CHIKARA!
This week on Journey into Chikara, we'll see the Ecuadorian aristocrat in action. That is, if he ever gets to the ring. Juan Francisco de Coronado is here.
The former grand champion of Chikara, the winged ring warrior himself, ICARUS, is in tag team action.
Egypt's top export, the hop-steppin', high-flying pharaoh, AMASIS, is on the program.
Plus, the first female Young Lions Cup champion in history, the tenacious underdog HEIDI Lovelace, will join us. But right now, we need to get down to ringside as the opening contest is set to begin.
It's a packed house here in Haverhill, Massachusetts, with a really intriguing matchup on tap. Leonard, we are seeing two of the team captains in the Challenge of the Immortals round robin tournament going at it. This is not part of the round robin. This one's for points toward a title shot. Juan Francisco de Coronado, and this guy is so obsessed with his hair, taking on AMASIS. I can't wait. Really looking forward to seeing what happens when we get two of the team captains in the ring against each other, one-on-one.
Juan Francisco, we're very worried about his hair. He needs to be worried about his opponent here, as you mentioned, Mike, the team captain, AMASIS of the Battle Hive, and he's ready to go.
Here we go. It's Egypt versus Ecuador, one-on-one. No surprise to us here. Haverhill, Massachusetts is behind the funky pharaoh AMASIS, not so much behind Juan Francisco de Coronado. Juan Francisco, every chance he gets to break the rules, he will take it. Now, obviously, every chance he gets to preen a little bit and make sure his hair is perfect, he'll take that too.
Is he doing that for his own benefit or for us watching at home? I'm not really sure. His hair's fine. It looked fine before. You're so focused on your hair, Juan Francisco. Worry about your opponent. I can't say it enough.
Well, I do think it says something about a guy who wrestles with a bow tie on. Right now, on the left wrist is AMASIS. What's he thinking? Oh, is he going to mess up the hair? Juan Francisco won't tolerate that. Juan Francisco would rather run away than wrestle if there is any chance his hair is going to be mussed.
And you see him telling AMASIS there, nah, you're not going to get that.
But I tell you what, this is an interesting strategy point on the part of Juan Francisco, because he's drawing attention away from wrestling. He's putting the focus on his hair. And if you become concerned with that, if his opponent takes his focus away from wrestling, Juan Francisco is very accomplished between the ropes. He was the first man to challenge ICARUS when he was grand champion. They had a terrific contest up in Montreal, Canada. He can get it done. He just prefers to break the rules. He prefers to take his liberties. And he prefers not to have his hair messed up.
And Mike, you mentioned before, every opportunity that De Coronado has to break the rules, he takes it. And that just adds so much more to how accomplished he is in the squared circle. You said he chooses to break the rules. Gives him some sort of sick, sadistic glee, I'm sure. But he's accomplished in the ring, and that's what makes him so much more dangerous. The fact that he's able and willing to just dig that little bit more in, to hold on to a hold until 4, to put his thumb in your eye.
Sometimes you watch Juan Francisco de Coronado, you feel a little bit irritated at the man's snobbish demeanor and other things that he does. You can imagine how frustrating and irritating that is for his opponent. AMASIS, man, he is so quick. Look at this exchange of really deep arm drags here. There's no stopping AMASIS. He is go, go, go. Sunset flip, double leg Nelson, great execution. He only got 2. What is it, jackknife roll? He couldn't get the legs. Waist lock turned around. Great looking bridge here from these guys. Somebody's going to try and come out with a backslide.
Both men were jockeying for position there. I'm not really sure who's got control of this one.
Wow, look at the show of agility. AMASIS just backflipped and then drop-kicked Juan Francisco right out of the ring.
Luckily for him, he landed on his feet, but not so lucky for him that AMASIS was ready for him.
He is so agile as the funky Pharaoh flung himself out of the ring with a pescado plancha and wiped Juan Francisco out. And now he's going to try and get him back in the ring. You got to pin the man inside the ring. One man is going to leave here with an additional point toward title contention. Some guys will spend an entire season, a year and a half trying to accumulate 3 points before they get a title shot. Neither man wants to lose. And what? You can't be doing this. This is not legal.
Now, this is the discretion of the referee, Mike.
Yes.
Oh, as we see here, Juan Francisco just pulled the referee right in front of AMASIS, who was getting ready to charge. Now, if I was the referee, Mike, and I'm not, I would have disqualified him right then and there.
And you'd be perfectly justified to do so. Putting your hands on the referee like that, our senior official, this has been something going on all season long here at CHIKARA. Finding little loopholes in our rule system, trying to tighten those loopholes up so that they can't be exploited. And we've empowered the referees here to make decisions on the fly. In this case, Bryce Remsburg has allowed the match to continue, but he could have disqualified Juan Francisco.
I would have disqualified him for that bow tie, but that's just me, taking a lot of time.
Crimes against fashion. Coming up off the mat is AMASIS trying to fight his way out of this predicament. He threw a couple right hand and the left. Now he's been picked up and now body slammed with authority by the Ecuadorian aristocrat, who's taking just a moment to make sure he remains perfectly coiffed between moves.
There's plenty of time to be perfectly coiffed after you win. You're at the hotel, you're at the local restaurant, you're celebrating. That's when you look in the mirror and say, all right, I look good, I'm a winner.
We only go to the local restaurants, that's it.
Well, listen.
Peeling him up off the mat right now is Juan Francisco de Coronado. You know I wasn't going to let that slide.
But obviously not.
Breaking the rules once again here. Bryce Remsburg laying it on. He's choking AMASIS over the middle rope is what he's doing. Oh, and he just kicked the middle strand up into his throat. Every little chance, every place he can sneak something in, he does.
Right. And again, I think that's what makes him that much more deadly, because he has that capability in the ring, the skill. And he just cheats and cheats and cheats, but he gets away with it. That's the thing.
Well, hopefully Bryce Remsburg keeping his eye on all the shenanigans of Juan Francisco here. Really taking his time. I don't think you can give somebody the caliber of AMASIS a moment to breathe like this. He's charging into trouble. He sure is. Oh, he just got kicked in the back of his head there.
And he caught one foot with his hand and the other one with the back of his head. AMASIS pushing him off with both feet and explodes out of the corner with a clothesline and a big back elbow there. Takes Juan Francisco down again and a drop kick to follow it all up.
Well, we've seen a couple beautiful drop kicks thrown in this match so far. What's AMASIS going to follow up with? Oh, intercept. He's turned it around. Juan Francisco likes the tiger driver. He's got him butterflied. Can he hit it? No, AMASIS was able to switch and counter out in mid-move. What great flexibility. And he landed nimbly on his feet. He's out on the apron, slingshots himself in. Oh, he just cracked him. That forearm hit him right in the jaw. But Juan Francisco able to bring his right shoulder up off of the mat, complaining now to the referee. I don't know. I don't see anything illegal about what AMASIS is doing thus far. Great move slingshotting himself into the ring there, Leonard.
Really took a lot out of Juan Francisco, and I think he's trying to use how much that big forearm took out of him to gain an unfair advantage by crying foul, and that's what he's doing is just crying about it.
This is the third time we've seen an attempted backslide. Back to the tiger driver. Juan Francisco's got it. He scores. 2.5, says referee Bryce Remsburg. I think if he would have fought for the double leg Nelson, he could have held that pinning combination and maybe picked up a huge win over the captain of the Battle Hive.
D. Coronado a little slow to his feet here, as per usual, but again, has AMASIS in the center of the ring, has him picked up in a fireman's carry position.
Juan Francisco, he couldn't make something out of it there. He's really been throwing everything at AMASIS thus far. Pat O'Connor roll, perhaps? No, look. Keeping the waist lock, perhaps German suplex to follow. No, AMASIS backflipped his way to freedom. Oh, he came right in, high knee. Discus forearm. Juan Francisco could be knocked out.
AMASIS going for the cover. Great ring positioning there. Knocked out or not, he had a wherewithal to put a foot on the bottom rope. Not expending any energy, but still keeping himself in the contest is D. Coronado.
Yeah, you can tell he's getting desperate, draping his boot on the bottom rope. What's he doing now with the flag of Ecuador Oh, you see what he's done here, fans? He just pulled the bottom part of that flagpole off, the part that you drive into the ground, the stake. Oh, he just hit AMASIS right in the throat with the stake from the bottom of the Ecuador flag.
But he caused the distraction with the top of the flag, drew Bryce's ire, German suplex.
Oh, not like this, Leonard. Ridiculous. That foreign object was the difference maker. We just saw Juan Francisco cheat his way to a huge win here in Haverhill. Well, they just heard the official word from Gavin Loudspeaker. 1 point closer to a Grand Championship title bout is Juan Francisco de Coronado. And well, referee Bryce Remsburg is out here consulting with some of the CHIKARMY in Haverhill.
What's that young man's?
I think he's trying to explain to him what he saw. He's obviously trying to point it out to Bryce Remsburg, who was preoccupied with getting the flag out of the ring. He missed what Juan Francisco did.
And the rest,
I think that fan just explained it to him.
Yeah, the rest of the fans there, I think they saw it as well. Juan Francisco pleading ignorance, pleading innocence.
Well, the fans here are prompting Bryce Remsburg, and they instructed him. They said, check that boot. No, not in that one, Bryce. That's not where it's at. Oh, look at this.
Bryce finally got him red-handed.
He found the foreign object that was loose in the ring, and I, for one, am glad. What is the referee doing here? He's explaining to our ring announcer, Gavin Loudspeaker, he has found this foreign object in play in the match. I don't think our senior official, Bryce Remsburg, is going to allow this to stand.
What's the decision going to be here?
Because Juan Francisco used an object, senior official Bryce Remsburg has made the decision to restart the match.
All right.
Look at T. Coronado, he is irate. He's throwing a temper tantrum in the ring, Mike.
This man is losing his mind. Bryce Remsburg caught him red-handed. He's doing the right thing, in my opinion. He has restarted the match.
Oh, look. Oh, Mike. What is he doing here?
Juan Francisco, I think, is taking issue with the fan who pointed it out to Bryce Remsburg.
That guy just stood up out of his wheelchair.
What?
It's a miracle.
What is going on?
That guy, he's taking steps toward Juan Francisco to protect his son, his grandson. I'm not sure who it is, but he got out of his wheelchair. Oh, and he puts his hands in that greasy kid stuff. Now he looks ridiculous.
Poetic justice has been rendered by the CHIKARMY here in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Juan Francisco's livid, but look at AMASIS. 540 kick is on the money. He's got him. And AMASIS picks up the win. All is right in the CHIKARAverse. Gavin Loudspeaker's got the official word. Well, the cheating ways of Juan Francisco de Coronado, team captain of the United Nations, have backfired. And now it's AMASIS with one more point for the Grand Championship title bout in the ring with the fan who called attention to the foreign object and helped set things straight.
Fans, there you just saw the winning ways of the Funky Pharaoh. AMASIS has 3 points. And let's take a look at how the contenders for the Grand Championship stack up. AMASIS is the #1 contender. He cashes in his 3 points for a shot at the Grand Championship of Chikara, and that match is signed for this Saturday, August 15th in Philadelphia. Trailing just behind with 2 points are Max Smashmaster, Blind Rage, and Mark Andrews. And with 1 point, we've got Lucas Calhoun, Princess Kimberly, Blaster McMassive, and Kevin Condren as well. Last week, right here on Journey into Chikara, we saw Kevin Condren pick up that first point by pinning Mr. Touchdown. And then we saw him present a gift to the masked man we once knew as Volgar.
I guess I'm gonna have to tell them your secret.
The former minion left behind in a time of transformation. He was given a voice and broke free from servitude to discover himself.
You don't step into the ring and rock all night, so you better come ready for a fight. Lucas Calhoun.
Hey CHIKARMY, and welcome back. I'm Leonard F. CHIKARASON, and you're about to journey into CHIKARASON's brain, where I store the knowledge of the past of Chikara right up here. I'm gonna ask you if you know what I'm thinking about. I'm not asking you to read my mind. I'm gonna ask you a question. And if you get the question right, one of the first 25 people to get it right, of course, you're gonna win a Chikara prize pack. All you gotta do is tweet us the correct answer with the hashtag JIC3, and you got yourself a prize pack. This week's question has to deal with the far, far away country of Germany. That's where Tag World Grand Prix was held in 2008. Who won Tag World Grand Prix that year? Let us know, and the prize pack is yours.
That's right, one of 25 Chikara prize packs can be yours. You've got to follow us on Twitter, tweet us the correct answer, and make sure to use hashtag JIC3 to be entered. You know, the great philosopher Glenn Fry once said, the heat is on, and sometimes when the heat is on, things can go a bit pear-shaped. In these choice moments, we rely on our pal Matthew to make sure nobody misses what's happened and to dress it up with a bit of 8-bit goodness for you.
I have no idea, Bryce. Mike, I've got no idea what's gotten inside the head of Bacabella and the Devastation Corporation. What do they think they're doing here?
Well, we had a little talk before this event began about exploiting gaps in the system, and we're going to start closing those gaps in the system. This is our senior official taking the initiative. And here come the Osiri Porter. These guys think they can run away from a title match, a main event that we've promoted here in North Carolina for these great fans? Well, forget about it. Whoa! A lot of bodies hitting the floor very, very hard here, fans. I heard the contact, but my view is occluded.
Okay, I do. Pressure's on. Don't choke, don't choke, don't choke, don't choke. Oh, man, I knew I was gonna choke.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Electric Monkey is violent energy and an aluminum can. Now with 30% juice and 600% more monkey.
Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for being part of Journey into Chikara. Coming up in just a little bit, I've got tag team action featuring Kevin Condren and Lucas Calhoun for you. But first, let's count down the top 5 moves of a former grand champion of Chikara, ICARUS.
Holds on, does ICARUS, rolls through. Gets on.
Scoops hollow with it. What's he looking for? Oh, that stuff.
Oh, look at this! Look at the power!
Made some distance. Looking for the Blu-ray now. He needs the Blu-ray, and he needs it now. He scores with this. Oh, this has got to be it, Leonard.
CHIKARMY, we've got live events headed your way. The fun-filled Lucha Super Party is heading to North Carolina and Virginia next month. And in October, we're off to Illinois and Ohio. And today, I've got an exclusive for you. Just added to the Season 15 tour, Massachusetts. That's right. Saturday, October 10th, we're back in Haverhill, Massachusetts, and we're bringing the fun-filled Lucha Super Party to you. Now, normally I'd let Bryce Remsburg tell you all about that, but you know what? He's got his hands full with a little thing called King of Trios. It's only the biggest tournament in all of professional wrestling, and Bryce's King of Trios report is next.
Hey there, Journey into Chikara travelers. Don't stop believing. Faithfully forever yours, Bryce Remsburg here in your King of Trios report. Have you heard? The biggest pro wrestling tournament of the year starts in just 23 days. The location, Easton, Pennsylvania, the Funplex, the Palmer Center, Labor Day weekend, Friday night, September 4, Saturday night, September 5, Sunday afternoon, September 6. Single elimination trios tournament, 48 of the world's finest pro wrestlers, including the Swamp Monster, converge on Easton, Pennsylvania. Will you be there? Will you join us? Have you got your tickets? What are you waiting for? CHIKARATix.com. We'll have your hookup. We'll have all the information. We've already sold tickets to fans in over 20 states, in over 5 countries. It all converges on Easton Labor Day weekend. Make sure your spot is insured and you join us for the festivities. It's a big week here in the Chikara universe as we're announcing first round matchups. Now, we already know the United Nations are all set to go 3-on-3 with Cardiff, Wales' finest Team Attack Pro. But what you don't know is what I'm about to tell you, some exclusive first round matchups for you. King of Trios, Friday night, September 4. First round, you're going to see the Crown and Court Trio. That's Princess Kimberly and Los Ice Creams to go 3-on-3 with Oleg the Usurper and the Batiri. That's the Arcane Horde Trio. Now we know the most experienced trio in all of King of Trios is the combination of Stevie Richards, the Blue Meanie, and Nova. Well, they have signed the contract and they are ready to go 3-on-3 with last year's winners, the Devastation Corporation. Whew. What a weekend it's going to be. So far, 6 out of 16 trios have their first round deployments. We're still waiting to hear from 10 more trios, which includes Team AAA, which includes Team Fight Club Pro, which includes the Bullet Club. I'm talking about AJ Styles and the Young Bucks. If that's not enough, don't forget about Rey de Valladores. It's a King of the Flyers 8-man tournament. It goes down across nights 2 and 3. Don't forget about the Fan Conclave. What a unique experience this is. All these competitors, all the fans. It's going to be a great intimate experience Saturday afternoon, September 5th. Have I not sold you yet? What are you waiting for? CHIKARATix.com has your tickets. CHIKARAPro.com has all your information. And I am sweating. I'm tired, but you better believe I'll be back next week with more information on 2015's King of Trios. Whew. Exhale.
Thanks, Bryce. King of Trios is just over 3 weeks away, and if you've never had the chance to experience the biggest tournament in all of professional wrestling before, jump on our CHIKARA service and check out past iterations of the tournament, where you're going to see a crazy cavalcade of wrestling luminaries from the one-man gang to the 1-2-3 Kid. It's almost time to head to the ring, but before we do, we've got one more stop to make. Let's check in with the winged ring warrior himself, ICARUS.
Kid Cyclone decided to remove his mask. After 13 years of tradition, he just took it off. Then he went and convinced Volgar to just remove his as well. So now Kid Cyclone is Kevin Condren and Volgar is Lucas Calhoun. Boys, you didn't just spit in the face of some silly tradition. You spit in the face of our tradition. The tradition of our masks. Now, I may no longer be the grand champion of CHIKARA, but I am still the man that fights for the ideals and what CHIKARA represents. When an entire army threatened to take all of that away, I stood up for CHIKARA. For what? So some pretty boy could prance around putting himself above all the men and women that have come before him? I know the tradition of the mask personally. I know what CHIKARA represents. And when an army threatened to take that away, I fought them off. An entire army. Imagine what I'll do to you two.
Tag team action dead ahead, and we've got a great one for the fans this week, Leonard. ICARUS, former grand champion of CHIKARA, Heidi Lovelace, the current Young Lions Cup champ. They're joined at ringside by their Dashers dugout partner, Mr. Touchdown, on the other side of the ring. The former Kid Cyclone, now known as Kevin Condren. The former Volgar, known as Lucas Calhoun. Did you see what was going on out there with their pal, the Troll?
I was going to say, I saw him come out with them, but he's gone. Did he go to the back?
No, he slid right under the ring, did the Troll. And maybe he'll be content to hide down there. This newly minted team of Condren and Calhoun. Oh, brother, you gotta be kidding me. They've got their work cut out for them against a team with as many accolades as ICARUS and Lovelace. It's gonna be a really interesting contest here. Senior official Bryce Remsburg set to preside over what is certainly gonna be a tense contest.
And you saw ICARUS telling Condren, you do a lot of this, you do a lot of talking. Now it's time, the bell is rung, let's go. This is gonna be a huge test for Kevin Condren.
We've seen Kevin Condren sometimes content to outsmart as opposed to out-wrestle. Let's see what kind of mind games he has in store for ICARUS. He refuses to get in there, and now he wants Lucas Calhoun to get in and do his dirty work for him. This guy's a real bruiser, a barroom brawler.
He's got a lot of size. He looks like the type of guy who's willing to take 3 punches to deliver one good one. I'm not saying that he's not the handsomest guy in the ring, but maybe I just did.
The rockabilly roughneck himself, Lucas Calhoun. Now don't be fooled, fans. This guy might be a bar fighter, but he knows how to wrestle, and he's going to have to. In there with a former Grand Champ, former Cybernetico winner, former King of Trios, and a Gen 1 original in ICARUS.
Former Campeonatos de PHARAOH on multiple occasions.
Yeah, more than one. ICARUS has just about done it all here at CHIKARA. Block of the hip toss. Gonna try for a backslide, maybe. I don't know. I think a little too early to make this work, really, for either man. Neither's got the momentum to make it work. He turned it around. Now he wants to whip ICARUS into the ropes. But ICARUS went underneath, springs back on a Western lariat. He just took the man out of his boots.
Beautifully done. And ICARUS, you're not going to see a lot of lazy covers out of ICARUS. He's going to want to end this one and end it quick. You just see him there trying to control the right arm of Calhoun, changing to the left, bringing him over to his corner, and tags in the current Young Lion Cup champion in Heidi Lovelace.
A real spark plug is Heidi. She's going to try and cover him up right away. Hook of the far leg. Lovelace back with us after an extended tour of Japan. She spent a good chunk of 2015 on tour with Stardom in Japan before returning to us here in the United States. We're certainly glad to have our Young Lions Cup champ back. Look at this. This is less wrestling and more swing dance. Whoa. You got to be kidding me. I don't think Heidi Lovelace is going to stand for that. Well, and neither will Kevin Condren. Well, the ladies are his thing, Leonard. Did you know that?
He tells me pizza's his thing. I think this kid doesn't know if he's coming or going half the time. A little juke and jive there out of Calhoun. I don't think that was a legal tag, but Condren's in the ring regardless.
These fans are chanting snowflake at Kevin Condren, much to his chagrin. He does not like that term. It was a pejorative designated to him during his training days of snowflake. Oh, and Heidi Lovelace, she's not intimidated. She takes a back step from no one. She ducks underneath. Another one. Look at this. Oh, that knee strike was right on the money. And look at the soul butt kick to the solar plexus. Now what? Oh, she took him down.
Leg drop across the back of the head, driving Condren face first into the canvas. That's one way to muss up those pretty looks of his.
Wow. Low kick to the from the right foot there. Condren planted it right on the left ankle of Lovelace. Dirty little move there on the part of Condren, but effective nevertheless. Now he's got a left half Nelson. What's he looking for here? I'm not exactly sure. He's got a chin lock in effect, though. Mr. Touchdown cheering on, shouting words of advice. He's a former Young Lions Cup champion, one of the longest reigning in the history of Chikara. You could do a lot worse than to take advice from Mr. Touchdown.
You ain't kidding. As Condren here calls himself Killer, he does. Series of forearm shots and just punches to the small of the back of Heidi as Mr. Touchdown again attempting to rally the CHIKARMY behind his teammates.
So far, I think the only thing killer about Kevin Condren is his ability to recite lyrics by the Killers at the drop of a hat. Here's a side suplex from Kevin Condren, very well executed. Heidi Lovelace, though, so long as she's got the Young Lions Cup, she's the one to beat in our under 25 division. Rookie wrestlers 25 years or younger can challenge for the Young Lions Cup, and you can hold it just once. Double whip coming up. That'd be a real mistake. They'd end up sending her into her partner. No. Look at that. The traditional Irish whip. You don't typically see that done anymore, especially in North America. Calhoun now dropping his body weight. Great looking elbow drop as they start to dominate the smallest player in the match.
And again, they've cut the ring in half. They flipped Heidi near ICARUS, drew ICARUS into the ring, allowing them a little opportunity behind the referee's back. But just a big scoop and a slam. Heidi giving away a lot of size to Lucas Calhoun, who makes the tag to Kevin Condren.
All the way around the ring goes Condren, building up speed. I guess he needed a lot of speed for that stomp. Condren's good at getting under people's skin. His brash attitude has certainly drawn the ire of ICARUS. He voluntarily unmasked, breaking from tradition, and especially ICARUS, who started his career under a mask. That strikes very deep with him, the discarding of all the tradition. Long running here at Chikara. It's just one of many things Condren does. Oh, not unlike that spine buster that really irritates his opponents.
Devastating spine buster there, and very smart wrestling here out of Calhoun and Condren. You mentioned it before, Mike, the smallest person in the match, Heidi. Isolate her, keep her away from the much more experienced, and as you can see here, the much more irate ICARUS wanting to get his hands on either one of these two.
Calhoun here, I think, making a real mental error, Leonard. You can't give Heidi space like that. You can't allow her to draw a couple breaths and recover, because she's going to turn it around. It's going to blow up in your face. I think that was a real tactical mistake, and he better find a way to turn things back to his advantage real quick. Oh, I guess that Samoan drop will do it. All that weight crashing down to the mat. We've seen Heidi land on her back very hard. The spine buster a moment ago, now the Samoan drop. She's in a bad way.
I'll say this though, tenacity, the willingness to fight and never give up is what's inside Heidi Lovelace. You saw as she got picked up, constantly fighting, constantly struggling. She is not going to go quietly into this good night and lose for her team. She is going to continue this contest until every last breath. Oh, it's taken out of her, and that clothesline will put her on the road to doing so.
She got mowed down there. And you can hear the packed house in Chicago, Illinois. They want to see Heidi make a comeback. They're not giving up on the Young Lions Cup champ. They're starting to rally. Listen to them.
They are certainly behind Heidi Lovelace. But again, I think it's easy to cheer for someone like Heidi Lovelace. Besides the fact that she's really good at wrestling, is the fact that her opponents are really big jerks.
Of course, here at Chikara, there's no division by gender or species. It's equal rights and equal fights. And Heidi Lovelace never takes a backstep from any fight, no matter how big her opponent, male or female. Calhoun now, left hand, another jab from Calhoun. The barroom brawler really lighting up the Young Lions Cup champ. Maybe he's gonna wind up a big bionic elbow, put it down on top of her skull.
What is Condren doing here?
No, anytime there's a chance for a little bit of hogging the spotlight, a chance to grab somebody else's glory, you can expect Kevin Condren. Now it's going to be Kevin Condren uncorking a bionic elbow, but his hubris got the better of him. Backslide to Heidi. It was only good for two. Referee Bryce Remsburg on top of the action. Now it's a low-flying enziguri. The back brain kick has been the real equalizer. If Heidi's going to tag, I think she better do it right now.
And it was Condren being a glory hound that put him in this predicament. He has no one to blame but himself. Well, he's going to blame Icarus when Icarus starts raining forearms and fists down upon his head now that he's the legal man of this contest. Oh, quickly trying to end it here, maybe.
Thought he wanted to stack him up. He didn't. He wanted to make space. Veteran move from Icarus. Oh, and great tandem offense here from two members of Dasher's dugout. No wonder they're doing so well in the challenge of the Immortals round robin. Look at the continuity between these two. Icarus setting up Heidi Lovelace. She's going all the way to the top strand. What's she thinking here?
And you see Icarus watching guard, not letting Condren come in. Saw Condren getting ready.
Wow.
Goes to the opposite side.
Super Frankensteiner, there's the knee. Could this be all? No, look at this. Condren at the last possible second making the save, or that might have been it. And now look at him here. Unloading with a couple double axe handles. He's trying to make a pile driver happen. I don't think he took enough starch out of Icarus for that to be the case. Now, a couple closed fists. Blatantly illegal.
In the corner, referee Bryce Remsburg trying to get him out of the corner, warning him that he could be disqualified. Double team here out of Calhoun and Condren, perhaps. Splash, Inzagiri, flying forearm.
What's he looking for? He's got him backpacked, gonna run him out to mid-ring. Could it be? He scores. Great looking stunner. You better cover him up. If you can get a win over the former grand champ, Kevin, you better take it.
Nice looking cover, but maybe taking just a bit too much time there, Mike.
You're right. Smart move on Condren's part. He saw Heidi coming in to make the save, and he just kind of rolled clear before Icarus even kicked off. I think he really was maybe trying to set Heidi up to accidentally collide with Icarus. I don't think you're going to see two guys like that make that sort of mistake, though. Oh, brother. Kevin Condren, what is wrong with you?
And look at the look on his face. He's so proud of himself.
Oh, he low-bridged Heidi Lovelace, who just went out to the floor, landed very, very hard. Oh, I don't think he sees Icarus poised to strike. He likes the Shiranu. Up the buckle he goes. He nailed it.
Turned Condren inside out. Condren and Calhoun were trying for it before, and Icarus scores with a bionic elbow of his own.
An ode to the late, great Dusty Rhodes here in Chicago, Illinois. Icarus, I think, is ready to put him away. Oh, but look who's poking out now from underneath the ring, Leonard. Look at this. The Troll's got the foot of Icarus. What is this? Holding on. That's what he was doing, hiding under the ring, waiting for his moment. Oh, and Condren, hook of the tights? Are you kidding me? I don't believe it. Highway robbery. Oh, so pleased with himself.
Pointing to his head like he's a genius.
Let's go down. Here's Gavin Loudspeaker.
Here are your winners, the team of Lucas Calhoun and Kevin Condren.
There you just heard it, the official word from Gavin Loudspeaker. Kevin Condren and Lucas Calhoun, despite the odds, victorious over Heidi Lovelace and Icarus in Chicago. That's going to bring an end to this week's Journey into Chikara, fans. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you this weekend at the Wrestle Factory for the good life.